What's up, guys? Hey, KK. KK in the house. D in the house. All my pleasure, D. My pleasure. I'm happy to be here. Happiness. How are you, fine ladies, tonight? So it up and got cold up here. Cold. Wearing my hat. Wearing a hat. It's cold. It's cold. So I have some things to talk about, but I figured I'd give it a few minutes, right? Windy. Yeah, it's windy. That's for sure. It's cold. What's up, Joe Mama? So, yeah. Just probably shut this off. There we go. All right. So, I was playing a little motivational stuff. I'll see if it takes. What's going on? Welcome to Thursday night live. Technically, Friday early morning live. But we're live. And you guys are here, and I appreciate that. I have some things to speak about. We'll see if anybody else comes in the chat. We'll just give it another couple minutes or so. Yeah, it's Halloween. What'd you guys do for Halloween? I did not have one trick or treater. Not one. The snow was blowing sideways across the window, and it was like wet snow. So, like, if a kid would have been running, it'd just be like, he looked like paper mache by the time we got to the door. I mean, the mummy! Take it off. It was snowing sideways. There were no. I live in a cul-de-sac. I mean, you live in a cul-de-sac and you don't get trick-or-treaters? It's bad weather. It was bad. It was really bad. I mean, any kid that went out probably got frostbite because it was windy and it was cold. No, let me try. Is she here? I think she has to be here, Joe Mama. And then I can click on her name and make her a mod. Or am I incorrect about that? That makes no sense, actually, as I say it out loud, is that I wouldn't need to make her a mod if she's here. How do I make her a mod if she can't comment in the chat? How do I do that? Let's see. Tell you your hat looks good. Thanks. I'm surprised you can see me. It's camouflage. I was counting on not being able to be seen tonight. Thanks. She's lurking. Good call, James Rohrbach. Good call. James Rohrbach and I got this going on. And as much as I did that, he did that too. And he just did it again. So there's that. I just nose whistled. I don't know if you heard it. I sure did. I totally did. How do I make her a mod if she can't go in the chat? How in the James? Totally. That's funny. I'm being for real though. I mean, I want to totally make her a mod, but I have nothing from her I can click on. Oh, you know what? Maybe I can hang on. Bear with me. Right on, James. I'll open another window and go to YouTube. Actually, I'll do it here. I'll do it with my tablet. Then I don't have to mess with this. Okay. I'll go to Mel's channel. I'm just going to try this once. Literally, I'm going to try this one time. If this doesn't work, I'm not going into this trying to troubleshoot. But if I can go on here, excuse me, and click on her, which I just did. Hi, Mel. I see you. There you are. I see Mel Monty. She's here. Where's Brian Rosenberg? Unblock user. I don't have you blocked. You're not blocked. Wait a minute. Why would it say that? Unblock user. Mel, comment. And I swear to God, I didn't block you. I swear to God. Mel, say something. Mel, type. Rosenberg, you bastard. Where's Brian? Brian is my alter ego. Sorta. Son of a bitch. Brian Rosen. Mel, I'm waiting for you to comment. Mel, get out of the chat and come right back in. Or go back and come back in and see if you can comment. Because that was weird. I did, Joe Mama. I did. But you know what's crazy to me is that I've never blocked anybody in my life. I've never blocked a user in my life. So it was just weird that I went to her page and clicked on the thing and it said unblock user. And I'm like, unblock. Okay. So I hit it. I have no idea, swear to God, why she would have been blocked. She said delayed, but it worked. Oh, okay. All right. Anyway, I made a list. Sorry, Mel. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Anyway, we'll wait to see if we get a comment from her. She's probably going to give me an emoji. It's going to be giving me the bird. It's going to be fuck you, dude. You had me blocked. Swear to God, I didn't have any idea that happened. But anyway. In fact, now if you click in, I'll make you a mod. Because now I can. Once I see your name. Yeah. So I made a list. I know I already said that, but I'll say it again. I made a list. I put a few things on it. I was thinking about a few things earlier. I watched some streams. Started thinking about some stuff. Jumped into my stream from last night where I had Red Pill on. And I just my stream started and I just went boom, and I just threw it over to the right and let it sit wherever it did. And I just started listening to Red Pill and stuff. And I thought he did really, really well. I get along really well. Red Pill and I have a lot in common. As do I with most of you, with a lot of you, but I have a lot in common, including the Marine Corps with Red Pill. And, he's, I don't know. I enjoy talking to him. I don't have to do a whole lot of interviewing. I just put a couple questions out and just let him go. But, how'd you guys like it? I know most of you enjoyed it because people were asking me, when are you going to have Red Pill back on again? Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. There. I see somebody. Ba 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 ba. Mel, you have a ranch. Bum ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. I see you. I see you and your blue wrench. Yeah. Celebrate. You get some wine? Holiday. Celebrate. It would be so nice if we took a holiday. Oh, yeah. Come on. A little time to celebrate. Let's celebrate. It would be so nice. It would be so nice. All right, so I covered the live stream. Mel Monty, please trust me when I say I have no idea how you were blocked. It's crazy. No, that's not ABBA. But I do love me some ABBA, James Rohrbach. That was Madonna, dude. That was Madonna. That was like 1983. Madonna. Celebrate. Or Holiday. It was called Holiday. I don't know. But that was a good pull. It was from a very similar genre, James Rohrbach, a very similar genre. And you did well with your guess. You should pack a ball and have some fun with it, sir. Who don't love ABBA? He said, oh, geez. Well, hello, Mr. Robert Wallace, secret mystery man. Hey, I was thinking about this the other night. Was I trying to figure out who Robert Wallace looked like? Did I ever come up with that name? I didn't rewatch the thing, but I was thinking about it. Did I ever come up with who I thought he looked like? Because if I didn't, I do now. I do remember. So I don't know. I did remember Mel Monty. Who did I say he looked like? Because I think I got that name wrong. Wrong. That's not the name I meant. Young. I'm writing the name down because I'm reading the chat and it's making me almost forget the name. And I thought I can't build this up and not come through with the person I think he actually looked like. That would be, but I remembered it, so I wrote it down. And it's, you know what, it's not crazy. It's not going to be like Andre the Giant or, something like that. But it's not who, it's Rocky and Bullwinkle. Right on us all. Right on, man. Not Cheech from Cheech and Chong. That's wrong. That's not who I had in mind. Hey, man, do you remember the guy and the girl in the Blue Lagoon, man? Yeah. Do you remember the guy that had the blonde hair? Yeah, man. That's not who he looked like. He looked like the girl, man. And I'm just shitting on you, Wallace, because I love you. You know I do. But when you hear my leading man that I think you look like, I think it will make up for all of my sophomoric hijinks in spades. I think so. Because I got it nailed. And when you guys go do the research and look at it, you're going to go, whoa. I think this cat must have spent some time around Mrs. Wallace. You get my drift? Meow. Don't tell your dad. In all honesty, I don't know what your dad looks like. I could tell you who this is, and you might go, dude, that is my dad. And I'll be like, no shit. Really? It shows. Let it build. Let's see what else we got. I wrote down who I had in mind. I'll come back to it. All right. So, what happened today? The impeachment process happened today. Let me read the chat. Well, it's flying high. Oh, my word, Bill. Jimmy Connors. Jimmy Connors? Jimmy Connors is a handsome devil, but that ain't you, Mr. Wallace. Unless you wear your black socks like all the way up to your knees. It might be you. But that's not who I had in mind at all. Nope. I got your doppelganger, son. I got your doppelganger. All right. So the impeachment process went through. It was a circus. It was a giant circus. I'm going to spend a minute on this because I think it's really important that you understand what's going on in all seriousness. I joke around a lot, but with what happened today, I want you to really pay close attention to, because today, the majority in the House of Representatives, led by Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff, decided to finally put a vote in front of the Democrat and Republicans that are all within the House of Representatives, all 400 and some odd something of them, but over 400 of them, to ask them whether they should proceed in an impeachment inquiry. Okay. This is not a vote to impeach President Trump. This is an impeachment inquiry. In other words, should we proceed with the process that we are going forward with questioning these witnesses and everything? Okay. That's how they laid it out. Well, all of the Republicans obviously voted that this should not proceed. And all of the Democrats voted that it should proceed, except for two Democrats. Two Democrats actually broke away from the Democrat Party and sided with the Republicans and said, there is no basis. There is no justification in any way, shape, or form for this impeachment proceeding. These two Democrats are what we like to call, and very rare breed that we rarely see, smart Democrats with a potential political future. They might actually have a political future. They broke from the herd. Remember, I was saying the other night, out of all the hundreds and hundreds of them, not all of them can be deep state. Now, I am troubled that only two of them came forward. And it wasn't enough to tip the scales of Lady Justice into the camp of this shouldn't even proceed with an inquiry. The bullshit narrative of all of this, of what's going on, is that now, as a result of them putting this up for a vote, whether it should proceed, the KGB, Adam Schiff, piece of shit traitor, who will be exposed and will be hung by the very pencil neck that leads from his upper breastplate to his larynx. And he is going to be swinging in the wind, my friends. That head might actually pop off the top of that fucking noose. And it couldn't happen to a better man that dude. And you want to talk about bad people and just forget all the things that I could paint with to describe what type of human being he is. Look at it this way, black and white. There's good people and there's bad people. And then there's really bad people. And that's him. And he happens to be very smart, articulate. He is a guy that would eat most people up in what's going on. As dirty as we know he is, he's brilliant. He's smart, very smart. That's why he's running this circus the way he's running it. But as a result of them pushing that vote through today, what happened is that he took it upon himself to rewrite some of the rules that would take place within this impeachment inquiry, which still is not a vote to impeach the president. They do not have the support to impeach the president. So they have to try to put together this impeachment inquiry, now officially to be voted on, so that people can say, oh, this is definitely the right, correct process. The only problem is that with these new rules that Adam Schiff wrote into it, on top of being just completely dirty. I mean, just a dirty bastard who's not interested at all in getting to the truth. He is trying to cover his ass and get President Trump impeached because his entire world is falling down around him. And it's falling down around all of them. This is their last hope. So if you don't expect anything but their very best effort, no matter how hokey and shitty it looks, and how bad it gets to the point where they argue it to the point of ridiculousness, they're going to do it. And this is actually, I hate to say this because it pains me to actually say it, but unless the FISA drops happen, which I don't suspect they will, because they will consider that they are infringing on the impeachment inquiry process. So we're going to have to sit on that now. But my thought is that this was the way it was meant to go all along. We had to think of a reason why the House of Representatives were allowed to go to the Democrats. This is why. Because in order for this plan to pay off and for this plan to work, it was imperative that they impeached him. It's the only way to awaken everybody, is to go through the fucking long, painful bullshit process of another trial and put him through the impeachment process. It's not the news I wanted to give you. I'm exhausted, but it's winning. I do understand. I've said it before. I'll say it a million times. President Trump is going to beg you to stop winning. Why? Because he's not only winning the big things, he's winning everything on every measure along the way. And eventually it just becomes you're winning on everything. But because it's not immediate gains that affect you in your physical life, they're just, a lot of it gets laid by the wayside. He's completely winning on every level. And all of these wins, believe it or not, I don't know how much any of this has affected you in your lives with your income and all this, but I suspect that most of us are right in a percentage somewhere in the middle. I mean, you've got a percentage that are there, and you got a percentage that are there, and then you've got a bunch of B through D students that live in the middle class and kind of are with each other. It's but those are the people that Trump has affected the most. And it is where we will thrive again one day, is because he's putting all of the equity of what he's building up, all of these future contracts and businesses and everything. He is soaking them up into the equity of the manpower of the United States. And believe it or not, in addition to some help from pharmaceutical companies, and I say that very tongue in cheek, but there is a time and a place for them, and it is with the opioid epidemic. There's a time and a place that pharmaceuticals will be necessary. And the only thing that's going to turn this country around is hard work and getting people off of these drugs. Seriously. These drugs are these Vicodins and Norcos and Oxycontin, Oxycontin, is it cotton or cotton? And uppers and downers and all the shit that just mixes people up inside. It just mixes them up. I mean, this was by design, right? It's why we guard the poppy fields in Afghanistan, or at least we used to before we torched them. It's all part of that plan, you guys. I'll go back to it again. It was part of the regime of how to destroy America. You root it. You corrupt it from the inside. You get it addicted to everything. And you freely let the prescriptions be written. I have back pain. Here you go. There's a 90-day supply. You laugh now. That's how it used to be back in the day. Made no mistake. Before any of this got spoken about being a problem, if you had medical insurance and you had some pain, you get yourself some painkillers. Very easy. And very dangerous, but very fun to party on. I just ain't gonna lie. Look, I had an injury. I went through a surgery, and you know what? I drugged that bitch out for 2 years, eating them motherfucking pain pills and partying on them. Didn't need them after 3 months. Didn't even need them. They were way too fun, and I understand how they. And without a good foundation in your life, that shit can take people right over the edge. I happen to have somebody, my wife, who recognized it and said, fucking straighten your shit out, dude. It was like, and she was a little nicer about it than that. But it was like one of those things you're just like, and then in hindsight, you look back and you go, man, I just really see how that kind of stuff fucks people. I mean, they created on purpose the drug epidemic. On purpose. Non-negotiable, 100% true. It's all true. It's 100% true. There's no issue. It can't be not true. It's true. And they created this. Fucking A true. And they need to be held accountable. And they are being held accountable. True. It's coming, my friends. So let me get back into my paper. I'll read the chat first, though. I don't even know if you guys are saying anything. It's good to see you all. You hate opioids, killed a friend of yours. I'm sorry about that, James. Yeah, it's just so it's contin. It's OxyContin. Contin. Yeah. Joe Mama, yeah. I think that that's beautiful that that's the case. I also think it's beautiful because she said you have to jump through so many hoops for painkillers now. And I think that that's probably great. It's not great to the people that actually need them. Like somebody that's in their age where they just get them, what about the woman that gets 90 of them a month? She takes one in the morning, one in the afternoon, one at night. It eases her pain. It eases her back pain. She doesn't put her lips to a cocktail. She might take a couple hits off some tobacco. She ain't fucking nothing up in her life. That woman should not have to go through that regimen. Now, somebody that's on like their 400th doctor, And then, medical records should be shared. It's pretty fucking obvious and easy to figure out who's a potential pill popper or an abuser of that kind of stuff. There should just be a better way. I like that, James Rohrbach. He says right to try. I like that rule. I like that law. Trump took all of the liability off of the drug manufacturers that actually made gains in many ways to either cure a person or to at least put them in a position where they could live out the rest of their days in a better way. They felt better. They lived. They just were able to just be in a better frame of mind. And I have no idea if what I'm about to say is true or not. But I mean, if it's a drug that could make the last 4 months of their life the most enjoyable ever, even though the disease will kill them, versus living another 12 months and losing your mind and not remembering anything. I mean, if that ever comes to me, you guys, just know I'm going to take the being wide awake in 6 months versus 12 months and losing my mind. I love the law, right to try. And it all has to do, and so many of these, how could they come out and say that they're going to be able to cure AIDS within 10 years? Because they've got it figured out. Why? Because it was a man-made disease. It didn't derive from these people going into the jungles and fucking these monkeys. Did that happen? Probably. I mean, how the hell would I know? These people live in the jungle. Maybe people in the jungle fuck monkeys. I don't know. But that's not where AIDS started. It was a man-made disease. And it was targeted. It targeted a specific branch of people. And it was so effective, it actually was used in many other ways. It was a weaponized killer. Was AIDS. Totally. Why do you think they were able to? Why do you think magic is alive? Because, oops, he accidentally got it or didn't. But for whatever happened, he was able to make his amends with the deep state or whatever, because he got it for a reason and he got to live for a reason. So, I don't know. Take that for what you will. But that's the truth as far as I'm concerned with that shit. So thank God for the right to try, James Rohrbach. Thank goodness for that. So I talked about and spoke about the impeachment process today, brought up some facts and why the facts matter to it. Here's my question. We are Q followers. We haven't heard from Q in over 2 months. But what are some of the key phrases that you remember when you think about Q drops? I'll tell you what mine are, and I'll give it just a second to see if one of you want to chime in and say what yours are. But there's a couple absolutes that I think what's going on with the Q drops makes sense right now more than anything. And I believe that that's why there is no uprise from people going crazy over this impeachment inquiry. That's honestly, James, that is a great one. And that does kind of tie into one of mine. Yeah. Kudos to you. Peruvian coffee to Mr. James Rohrbach. Enjoy the show. That's what he said. What I was going to say is that you are watching a movie. And I think that's the same. And we've been told, enjoy the show. You are watching a movie, enjoy the show. Patriots in total control. These things, and I stated it to you back in the last midterm election when we gained seats in the Senate, and I have to repeat this. We gained seats in the Senate and we lost seats in the House of Representatives and lost the majority in the House of Representatives. That was done purposely. I actually think the polls were rigged so that the Democrats would win the House. If you want to know my honest to God truth. Because there's no way you win the Senate and pick up seats and lose the House and lose enough seats where you lost the majority. It's part of the plan. It had to go this way. If the Republicans would have been running the House for the last 2 years, all we would be seeing is that anything that got pushed through and put up for vote, they would be building the narrative for how Donald Trump is being a tyrant and steamrolling through this entire process. And everything he gets, he just rams through the House and he rams it through the Senate and they ram it through the Supreme Court. And we would be nowhere where we're at. We had to create the bad man. Not create, we had to put the spotlight on the bad man. And that's why they were given the House. Now, that's my opinion. I don't know, honestly, that I've ever heard it from anybody else, and I don't care. But I really don't think I've heard it from anybody else, and I've repeated it now for a few months. I believe that they were allowed to win the Senate or the House. I believe Nancy Pelosi, if you look it up, was on the Stephen Colbert show, and he was asking her about, aren't you nervous about what's going on with this midterm? And she said, I'm not nervous because I know we're winning the House. And he was like, don't you think that's like taboo? I'm getting it wrong what he said, but he was something like that. He was like concerned. He was like, don't you think that that's probably like, you shouldn't be coming out with that kind of vibrato given the election when Trump actually won? And she was like, no, I just, if I can feel it. And whatever she said in her old ass way. But she was stupid the way she reacted in that video, in that interview on Colbert. Look it up. She looked like a fucking Fruit Loop. A Fruit Loop. And she hasn't taken her foot off the pedal of Fruit Loopville in a long time. Even like when she got the gavel and she's like looking at my guy, well, I'm gonna try it. Yeah, pretty good, man. I can't wait to smack this motherfucker. This woman is just a disease. Just a disease. Just a disaster of an individual. Complete, horrible, reckless disaster of a person. And she's in the same camp as Adam Schiff. Shifty Schiff. I can't even honestly look at him anymore and not thinking about taking elbows up across his head. That dude drives me. I don't like him at all. I don't like him. And keep in mind, when this is done, these people are going to cower and whimper and cry as they are being let out of there. And it's coming real soon, Patriots. It's coming. And I will have no sympathy for these people at all. As a friend of mine used to say, which he probably heard from somebody, is you'll find sympathy in the dictionary between shit and syphilis. These bastards in the deep state get no quarter. None. None. In the words of Steven Stifler, fuck these motherfucking fucks. And I don't know if he ever actually said that, but he would. There's no question he would. I don't even like that show all that much. I don't know where that came from. Sorry. So dumb. Sometimes it's so dumb. So sorry. So so was the impeachment inquiry allowed to go through and actually pushed by Trump and the Patriots? Yes. We have been in a hovering mode in the big plan, the entire plan. We have been in a hovering mode and trying to push them towards impeachment. That's what this was. This whole operation and plan was kickstart to say, because they've already held 3 impeachment votes that have failed, one in 2017, one in 2018, and one in early 2019. And now they've done an impeachment inquiry, which isn't the same as the first 3. It's not a vote to impeach. They're still on this inquiry. They're still doing, Adam Schiff is still doing these in the skiff interviews with information that is not available to anybody in the House or anybody in the Judiciary Committee of the House. It's complete bullshit. It's being exposed. But the way this is all playing out is designed for Adam Schiff. He just, the deep state is not going to go quietly. They put their best man, and I say that tongue in cheek because that motherfucker is a bad, bad apple. But they put their best individual there, which is Adam Schiff. And the other guy that was vowing to take Trump down was Jerry Nadler, and Nancy Pelosi took it away from the Senate majority or Senate minority leader, Nadler, because he failed miserably on his cross-examinations and everything he did in the Mueller probe. The whole thing is completely just horrendous. So was the plan to have the Democrats in the House push towards an impeachment inquiry, and which will lead into an impeachment vote? Yes. The answer is yes. Why? It's a trap. It is a trap set. They have to get these people on the record. That's what the Republicans are doing. They're getting them on the record and making them put their voice to the policy that they're pushing. Now that we have the foundation, we can operate as patriots from a position of breaking you down, because now you've put your name to it. And even though this isn't the vote to impeach Trump or to put it in for an impeachment, this is the inquiry, which should have been done a month ago when they first started doing these bullshit investigations. The reason they changed it up today is that they were called out by the Republicans who said, enough of this horse shit, enough of this. You're not doing this anymore. And if you are, we're bringing cameras. I mean, you're going to explain this. You are making up process as we go along. You are making up protocols and process as we go along through this nightmare scenario where the last 2.5 years were focused solely on Trump and his collusion with Russia to win the 2016 election, and then obstruction and all of that shit. And that up and died. And now we are immediately on to Kavanaugh after that again. And then they're leapfrogging from situation to situation while they try to set up this entire Ukraine bullshit quid pro quo that actually Joe Biden is the one that is in violation of. This whole thing smells like a bad, smelly shoe. That was dumb. But this whole thing stinks. The whole thing fucking stinks. And what's it going to take for people to wake up at this point? I mean, can they drop the FISA right now? They can't. I think they're allowing this to happen so that people can actually wake up to the point where they say this is beyond ridiculous. All of our numbers are up as a nation. All the employment numbers are up. All of the welfare stamps are down. Record unemployment, record jobs, record this, record that, record 5,000 additional dollars per household on average. Just everything. Record stock market. Waiting for the stupid ass do nothing Democrats to put the vote up to the House for the new prescription laws that are going to lower prescriptions. That could be done immediately. To put up the entire USMCA trade negotiation. It's reworked from Bill Clinton's NAFTA agreement. It's the USMCA, and it brings a lot more money and a lot more jobs back into America. It's a free trade agreement. It's a trade agreement that's actually good for the United States, not one that's going to push all of our jobs out of our country. Which, if you don't think that happened, you're just dumb as fucking dog shit. I'm sorry. You got no business being here, because how you going to argue with that ever? I mean, these are cold, hard facts. These are truth. I don't know. So it's a trap. We are watching a movie. In fact, indeed. I think the moment that we were told that, I think it's safe to say that everything that the Democrats are doing are being pushed and prodded into these decisions that they're making. Do I feel cool and calm and collect about what's going on with President Trump right now? 100%. 100%. Not even negotiable at all. 100%. Could something weird happen, an anomaly, something to the president? Yes, it could. I acknowledge that. No plan is flawless. I don't think anything would happen. But here's what I find encouraging, and I've said this before, is that if something, God forbid, did, I don't think there's anything that's shutting this off. I think he's already carried it far enough where Patriots will take this over the finish line. I really do. That being said, I don't want nothing to happen to this guy. I like him. I like him a lot. So as you go through this, as you hear them come up with the next issue after issue against the president in their relentless efforts to impeach this president, stay vigilant. Stay strong. Know that you are on the right side of humanity. 100%. You're on the right side of humanity here. You are a patriot. You are the patriot that we read about, the Patriots 1776 and before. Your digital warriors, all of you, every one of you. And you are a big portion of the resistance of why the deep state and the mainstream television can no longer dominate us ever. To awake, to go back to sleep. You face it. You want to know what you are in life right now? Whatever you do in life, you're that, plus you're a digital soldier, because you're a truth teller. You get it. You understand the plan. You understand. So many truths have been told. So many more than can ever be disputed in any kind of manner. And it's time right now that you remember that about yourself, and you remember that about the plan. And as much as I joke about saying it's non-negotiable, it truly is non-negotiable. Going forward, it's non-negotiable. These are truths. Somebody doesn't believe it, I'm sorry you feel that way. But you're arguing against something that's non-negotiable. And pretty soon they're going to see it. I don't suggest any of you talk to somebody like that. And if you do, make sure you got a right hook ready. Pow! Playing, but it's really redundant for me to say this again, but we're here. If we blink, we'll miss it. We'll miss it. But it's going on. It's happening. The plan is to have the Democrats impeach the president. They have to. Has to happen. I would say that the plan is counting on them to move for impeachment. Why? Because it's going to put everything then into the Senate. And when that happens, we're talking full trial. We're talking president representation. We are talking cross-examination of every individual, the whistleblower. And when that happens, it all comes unwound to the point that I don't think the Democrats are going to let it get to that point. Whatever's going to happen, I think is going to happen before this ever sees the Senate, because they know they're on a time clock right now. The Democrats are on a time clock, which reminds me, stay vigilant about your surroundings. Okay? I don't think anything will happen to us, any of us. I don't think ever in a million years. But when people are fucking desperate, we don't know where their desperation is going to land or what's going to happen or what's going to trigger somebody to go out and do something to change the news cycle. Just stay vigilant, okay? That's all I'm asking. Not trying to be your grandpa. Just want you to know your surroundings, okay? You see, if I wasn't in jail eating Jello pudding pops, thinking about all the good times I had playing on the Cosby's doll, I've been thinking about ways that I could stay out of trouble and learn about the truth. And I listen to Bill Michaud. Doll. Stay vigilant out there, you know? What's up? What's up, redneck prepper? What's going on, man? A great informer. I see you in here too. You see, the thing about the Jello pudding pop, you gotta take the Jello pudding pop out of the pop wrapper, and you take it up and you break it apart sometimes, put it in Mountain Dew. Eat it. All right, let's see if there's anything else. Hey, it's good to see you. Thank you, Red. Thank you, Redneck Prepper. Well, I see something about Tony. Is that Tony Simply? Is Tony Simply in the house?